In the heart of a vast wilderness, where endless skies meet the rolling earth under a brilliant sun, lies the Sunstone River Preserve. It's a realm of raw beauty, sun-drenched plains echoing with the distant cries of birds, and scattered groves of acacia trees offering islands of shade, all nourished by the meandering waters of the great river. Here, amidst the tall golden grasses, reigns Leo, a magnificent lion, his thick, dark mane framing a powerful face, the very picture of wild strength and untamed nobility. His family unit, though small, possessed a quiet strength. His devoted lioness, Maya, and their two lively, curious cubs, brimming with boundless energy. They are a living emblem of this incredible corner of the natural world, a precious, breathing treasure of the land. One morning, just as the first soft rays of dawn painted the horizon in gentle shades of orange and rose, the ancient hunter's instinct stirred deep within Leo. Leaving his sleeping family tucked safely among sheltering rocks, he set out alone, the need to provide driving him forward. The air was cool and carried the scents of dust and wild herbs, the profound quiet broken only by the cheerful chorus of awakening birds. His path led him gradually closer to the river, where the promise of greener vegetation attracted herds of antelope, their sleek forms moving gracefully against the landscape. Soon his sharp eyes locked onto one, a lone antelope, having strayed slightly from the main group, cautiously approaching the water's edge for a morning drink. Every muscle in Leo's powerful frame tensed beneath his tawny coat. Moving with ghost-like silence, his paws barely whispering across the earth, he began to expertly narrow the gap. A sudden, explosive burst of speed, a flash of tawny fur against the green. The antelope sensed the lethal danger instantly and bolted, sprinting along the riverbank. The chase was on. Leo, fueled by the primal imperative passed down through countless generations, pursued relentlessly, weaving with practiced agility between thorny bushes and resilient, sun-baked trees. The pursuit drew him further than usual from his familiar hunting grounds into an unknown, wilder stretch of the riverside. Near the water, on a steep, treacherously slick bank, recently undercut by heavy seasonal rains, the agile antelope made a desperate, scrambling leap and vanished into the dense, protective thicket beyond. The hunt had ended, unsuccessfully. Hot from the exertion and feeling a powerful thirst after the long chase, Leo approached the edge of the high bank to finally drink from the river below. But the ground beneath his heavy paws, saturated and unstable, proved dangerously deceptive. In one heart-stopping instant, the bank gave way beneath his considerable weight. The huge lion plunged with a heavy splash into the surprisingly cool waters of the river. The cold was a sudden, violent shock, stealing his breath. The water here was unexpectedly deep. Instinct took over, and he began paddling powerfully towards the shore, his strong legs churning the water. But the smooth, steep slopes of wet, clinging clay offered no purchase for his claws. Again and again he lunged, trying desperately to haul himself out, his sharp claws digging deep but ultimately useless grooves in the yielding, slick mud. His immense strength, usually boundless, began to ebb away at an alarming rate. The chilling water relentlessly sapped his body heat. His muscles started to ache, threatening to cramp with fatigue and cold. The confident dominance of the apex predator began to fade, replaced by helplessness, then a dawning, terrifying desperation. Struggling frantically, churning the water around him, Leo managed to find purchase on a submerged sandbar. Here he could stand, the water reaching his chest, but climbing the sheer, slippery bank from this position was impossible. He was completely trapped. The mighty king of the preserve, now weakened, shivering uncontrollably, and utterly exhausted, just a few frustrating yards from the safety of dry land. His heavy, ragged breathing, punctuated by a rare, low growl of distress, eventually carried on the quiet afternoon air to local ranchers checking fences nearby. News of the lion in serious trouble spread quickly through the small, scattered community bordering the preserve. People gathered cautiously on the bank above, watching with a mixture of awe, anxiety, and profound sympathy as the drama unfolded in the water below. They understood the harsh realities of the wild. Without intervention, this magnificent animal was doomed. One of the ranchers, his face etched with concern, quickly contacted the Sunstone River Preserve Ranger Station. The urgent call was received. The dedicated ranger team, Ethan, Olivia, and Noah, wasted no time. They immediately headed towards the reported location in their rugged, all-terrain vehicle. As experienced wildlife rescue specialists, they knew all too well that time was a critical factor. The journey across the uneven ground was bumpy and challenging, but their unwavering determination to help was stronger than any obstacle. Arriving on site, they rapidly and professionally assessed the precarious situation. The lion, Leo, was alive but visibly weak, shivering badly, unable to summon the strength to save himself, trapped in an inaccessible spot at the base of the slick, muddy bank. It became immediately clear sedation was the only safe and viable option. It was the only way to approach the powerful, stressed animal without causing further harm or danger to either the lion or the rescuers. Noah, calm and focused under pressure, took careful aim with the tranquilizer rifle and fired the dart accurately into the lion's flank. After a few tense, silent minutes of watchful waiting, the drug began to take effect. Leo's movements slowed, his great head drooped, and he finally settled onto the sandy bottom in the shallow water, the river's surface now almost completely covering him, with only the top of his back and his magnificent soaked mane visible above the gentle current. Now came the most critical and inherently riskiest phase of the rescue operation. Ethan, adjusting his wading gear, carefully and quietly entered the cool water. Holding their collective breath, the onlookers on the bank watched intently as he slowly, deliberately moved closer to the huge, sleeping predator resting on the riverbed. In the slightly murky water, a unique rescue scene unfolded. Ethan, moving with practiced care, quickly yet gently secured specially designed, strong rescue straps around the lion's inert body. On Ethan's signal from the water, Olivia and Noah on the bank, working in perfect synchrony, began using heavy-duty ropes and a portable winch system. Applying steady, careful tension, they began to pull Leo from his watery prison onto the shore. The mighty, limp body slowly rose from the river, water streaming from his thick fur, and was soon resting safely on solid ground. A collective sigh of relief rippled through the small crowd on the bank, followed by quiet, respectful murmurs of appreciation, heartfelt and sincere, yet subdued out of respect for the wild setting. The lion was quickly and gently moved onto a stretcher and then carefully loaded into a special transport crate secured on the back of the truck. The journey now led to the preserve's well-equipped veterinary center. Dr. Ramirez and her capable assistant, Daniel, were already prepped and waiting for their unusual patient. The initial examination confirmed severe hypothermia, significant exhaustion, and serious dehydration, but thankfully revealed no broken bones or other major injuries. Leo was immediately started on intravenous fluids to restore his electrolyte balance, administered essential vitamins, and placed under warming blankets and heat lamps. The entire veterinary team worked with quiet efficiency and professional calm, focused entirely on the well-being of the lion. Several hours later, under careful observation, Leo began to regain consciousness. He was still noticeably weak and moved stiffly, his muscles sore from the ordeal, but he was alert and eventually able to stand and slowly pace within his temporary recovery enclosure. Under the watchful eyes of the veterinary staff, he spent the night resting in a safe, quiet space, steadily regaining his formidable strength with each passing hour. The following day, after a final check confirmed that Leo was fully recovered and ready to return to his wild domain, the rangers carefully loaded the transport crate back onto the truck. They drove him deep into the heart of the preserve, far from the hazardous riverbank where he'd been trapped, but strategically closer to the known territory of his pride. The moment of release is always charged with a unique blend of anticipation and emotion. Olivia carefully unlatched and swung open the crate door. Leo hesitated for just a moment inside the cage, perhaps tasting the familiar sense of home carried on the breeze, taking a deep breath of the air of freedom. Then, with gathering confidence, he slowly walked out onto the grass, gave his magnificent mane a powerful, rippling shake, cast one brief, almost indifferent glance back at the departing ranger vehicle, and without a backward look, melted majestically into the dense, welcoming bush. He was home. He was once again the undisputed heart of his domain. This incredible rescue story became another poignant chapter in the ongoing chronicles of the Sunstone River Preserve. It serves as a stark reminder of the inherent fragility of the natural world, of the unexpected dangers that constantly lurk even for its most powerful and resilient inhabitants. But more than that, it stands as a powerful story of hope, a testament to the unwavering dedication of the people who commit their lives to protecting animals, and an illustration of the incredible, unyielding will to live that burns brightly in the heart of every wild creature. Leo's enduring spirit, his raw strength, and his resilience in the face of near disaster inspire us all to cherish and protect this amazing, precious world we share.